At home against Green Bay in November. Chris Boniol to kick off, and there's Jack Jackson out of the University of Florida back to receive it. Boniol angles the kick. Good kick down to the 1-yard line on the near side. And Jack Jackson runs right into a steamroller by the name of Kavika Pittman, who was their top draft choice, the rookie defensive end out of McNeese State, playing on special teams. Eric Kramer now, who had a terrific year, made his NFL debut as a replacement player during the strike in '87, and then went to Detroit and finally got a chance to start with the Lions. And one of the reasons he's here is when Dave Wanstead was an assistant at Dallas and Detroit beat Dallas in the playoffs in '91. Wanstead loved Kramer.
He beat him up, 3 touchdowns, over 300 yards.
From the 19-yard line, the fake to Robert Green, and then Kramer slings one off the fingertips of Curtis Conway, who had to reach for it in front of Deion.
Curtis Conway incomplete. Sanders on the coverage.
Well, Deion on his way to 100. We'll keep track tonight. The first half in for almost every play.
Really, it's a good route by Conway, Frank. He's open. If it's a good pass, it's a relatively easy completion.
It wasn't that poor. I mean, it wasn't thrown that poorly.
Here's Green slipping an initial hit and then taking it up to the 24-yard line, where Woodson and Hennings converge on the stop.
Robert Green carried onto the leg. Brought down by Woodson.
Green and Raymond Harris are really doing a pretty good job of handling the football for the Chicago Bears. They're not having a great deal of success running the ball, and they really do miss the big body of Rashaan Salam banging in there. It's even questionable as to whether or not he's going to be able to play next week. And a combination of a hamstring and a knee injury. Harris and Green doing their best, but they are not Salam.
Bears go to Washington on Saturday. Kramer has it tipped, and it is picked off by Kevin Smith. And Smith angles back and gets tackled at the 45-yard line. Darren Smith got a hand on it, and no relation, Kevin Smith makes the interception.
I think Eric Kramer saw Darren Smith. He's trying to force the ball into Michael Timpson. Didn't even see Darren, who deflected the football.
The Dallas Cowboys trying to cash in now on an interception, held without a touchdown in the first half tonight. Last year, a spectacular beginning to their season on Monday night. They routed the Giants 35-0 tonight in a dogfight, and Emmitt Smith drops the pitch out, and the Chicago Bears get it back. Al Fontenot came in to bust up the play, and Brian Cox recovers it.
Looked like a perfect pitch from Troy Aikman. Looked like he led Emmitt with it, put it right where it needed to be.
You know, those are the kinds you drop because they're so easy to handle. As a running back, you start looking for the move. Where am I going to find a block? Am I going to cut it back?
This thing's going to come right
out
at
there
us.
Perfectly. He was just looking upfield.
Just right through his hands.
That's a weird deal there as you look at Cox, and I'll explain in a second. That fumble will be charged to Aikman. Those are the scoring rules, even though clearly it was a good pitch out from the 49-yard line. This is Green. The rules simply state that if a player never has possession of it, and he never really took possession of it officially, it's charged to Aikman. But clearly a case of Smith, who fumbled only once in 1994, but then 7 times last year, dropping the football.
You know, I think a lot of credit on that play ought to go to Al Fontenot, because Emmitt Smith looked to me like he was going to be able to relatively easily recover his own fumble. Fontenot went ahead and tackled him and kept Emmitt from getting it. A lot of guys had a hand in that. Everybody had a hand in it but Emmitt.
2nd and 4. Raymond Harris with some nifty running. Gets tackled at the 38-yard line, but not until he picks up a first down. Todd Berger with the block and Darren Woodson with the tackle.
I think he lost his shoe in the process.
Good news for the Bears being able to move the ball on the ground. And when they lost Keith Jennings early in this game, I think they pretty much they're thinking they're going to have to forget about their running game. But they've been getting a good job out of Ryan Wetnight. Made a fine block there. Wetnight about 230 pounds as we look at Emmitt Smith getting a little attention on the sidelines.
Getting some retreads.
Is doing a good job filling in for Jennings.
Right, get some tread on those.
Time out, Eddie. Time out for an injury.
Ed Hockley signaling an injury timeout. It's Broderick Thomas who is shaken up.
Brock Marion they're looking at too, aren't they?
Now, Thomas, the linebacker, will need some attention. So timeout with 12:44 remaining in the third quarter. Chicago by 7. Well, it's a great way to get back in the saddle. Regular season Monday night in Chicago. And guys, next week for the first time in 10 years, Monday Night Football goes to Green Bay. What a scene that's going to be.
And a good start for both Green Bay and Philadelphia. And that should be quite a game. Rodney Peete with a big game against Washington, and Brett Favre with 4 touchdowns against Tampa Bay.
If you ever want to go anywhere and like plug in that umbilical cord and recharge yourself on the game of football, Lambeau Field is the place to do it.
Robert Green picks up 7. The Packers, everybody's pick to win the NFC Central. And most people think Chicago will finish 2nd or 3rd in the division, but clearly everybody thinks the Packers are the creme de la creme.
And that's not just of the Central Division. A lot of people think they are the creme de la creme of the NFC, and of course I think in many people's eyes of the NFL. And it'll be an interesting year. And Mike Holmgren, I think, very, very wise in telling his players, shut up already in talking about the Super Bowl. We're not going to discuss it anymore.
But we will.
Yeah, of course we will.
2nd down and 3
next week.
Here's Green to the 20-yard line on a 1st down. Marion and Woodson make the tackle. So the Bears on a very big drive right now as they try to extend a 7-point lead to 10 or 14.
Barry Switzer obviously a little concerned, not coming out of the preseason, but when talking to Dave Wanstead last night, he said he went back before this game and studied all the games from the Cowboys from the last couple of years, and he said the teams that stuck with their game plan right through the 3rd quarter, kept it close into the 3rd quarter, said those were the teams that gave the Cowboys the tough times. Those were the teams that beat the Cowboys.
Raymond Harris tackled in the backfield. Good play by Tony Tolbert, who played very sparingly in preseason. Another of the dinged Cowboys.
Well, yeah, the Bears came out here to run the football, Dan, and they have not left it. Even though they lost Keith Jennings, the key to that, they have stuck with it.
No, Dave is sticking with it, as you said, Frank. And what has to be discouraging to Switzer and the Cowboys is, you know, they're trailing at halftime. They got what they needed right off the bat. They got the break, the deflection, and then the interception. And then what's frustrating, what hurts, they turn right around and give it back on the Smith fumble. Very uncharacteristic for the Cowboys. Very opportunistic normally.
2nd down and 10. Kramer on a tight roll throws incomplete. Good coverage again there. Robert Green covered by Brock Marion. 3rd and 10.
Kramer thought he saw something, changed the play at the line of scrimmage, and put it right into the teeth of the Dallas defense. Brock Marion coming up. Harry Kramer, great season. Dan mentioned only 15 sacks. A great credit to the offensive line. A great credit, too, to the scheme that Ron Turner, their offensive coordinator, has brought to the Bears.
Kramer has not completed any of his last 8 passes. And on 3rd and 10, he completes one, but it's a minimal gain as it's hauled in by Robert Green. He's tackled by Darren Woodson, and Carlos Huerta comes out to attempt a field goal.
And immediately by Woodson.
I know people at home go, when you need 10 yards, why do you throw it 2?
That's a good question.
Well,
Often.
I can only assume that Eric Kramer surveyed the field in the limited amount of time he had and found no one else.
35-yard attempt by Carlos Huerta. The new Bear kicker won the job in the battle with Butler, and no good. A penny for Kevin Butler's thoughts as he sits at home watching this one right now.
I think we all know what they are.
Yeah, we do. More than a penny. 10-3 Chicago.
It's hard to had a few of those, I think, Al, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, right. Right through the clown's mouth.
That's somewhere, it was his 8th hole-in-one.
Yeah.
Think of all the people who've had no holes-in-one.
That's amazing.
That's why, too.
There's a hole.
Some pigs have more than one. For all of us that don't have one, it's because some guys have taken more than their fair share. Emmett Smith getting a little emergency surgery on his drawers out there.
Yeah, picking up a blowout patch.
Instant valet service.
Well, the Cowboys are not made to pay for the Smith fumble. Huerta misses.
But now they try to sustain a drive for the first time in a while from the 26-yard line, and Moose Johnston makes the catch. He's tackled there by Danielle Wolford at the 31. And let's get a word from Lynn Swan. Lynn?
Al, at halftime, Dave Wanstead said his #1 priority in covering Deion is not to let him get the big play. Therefore, the 9-10-yard cushion. But part of that game plan is also whenever he touches a football to come up and punish Deion. But so far, save one pass play, Deion has either been on the ground or out of bounds, so they haven't been able to stick him. Look for him in the second half to try him on that pattern, on the down and out and up to try and go by the coverage, and also a quick screen. Hands in, with the ball in his hand and a cushion, he might be able to make something happen. Al?
All right, thank you, Lynn, as Emmitt Smith picks up the first down. Yeah, most of Deion's contact tonight was initiated by Deion.
Even the quick slants across the middle, he hasn't taken a hard hit. But again, you cannot help but be amazed at the physical conditioning of Deion Sanders to be able to play both ways. I know it's at night, the sun isn't shining, it's not sapping you for energy the way it normally does, but still, Frank, this is a remarkable performance to go two ways as often as he is doing it.
He splits wide to the right, and Herschel Walker is split wide left. Bears show blitz. Here they come. They pick it up, and Aikman hits Johnston over the middle, and Moose barrels forward, close to a first down. Spotted up at the 47-yard line with 8:25 remaining in the third.
Again, Brian Cox doing what he does best in a passing situation, and that is blitz. But again, he declares it too early. That's an easy pickup for Ray Donaldson and Larry Allen when Brian Cox tips his hand and gets so close to the line of scrimmage prior to the snap. With a veteran offensive line like the Cowboys, you can't afford to tell them you're coming.
And it will be second down and that much.
You also have to give Troy Aikman credit in a situation like that. Obviously, he is changing up his snap count and his rhythms, Frank, keeping the Bears' blitzes a little bit off balance.
And if you ever wanted to take a shot at Deion on that out and up that Lynn talked about a moment ago, second and short yardage, not a bad time to try it.
Second and inches up at the 47. 8:20 to go, third quarter. Deion wide left.
It is where you like to go deep.
Good time to go deep. Boy, what a cushion by Harris again. But they give it to Moose Johnston instead, and he takes it right to the 50-yard line. First down, Dallas.
Deion couldn't have got past Harris that time under any circumstance.
I don't think Michael Johnson could have gotten past Harris.
A solid 10 yards was the cushion that time by Walt Harris on Deion.
As much as they've completed that out pass to Deion, I'm surprised they haven't done it even more. It's just playing catch between Aikman and Deion Sanders the way they're playing at the moment.
But then again, you know, you have to, we're talking about the cushion he's giving Deion. There it is right there, 10 yards. But look at the scoreboard. The Cowboys have only scored 3 points. Something's working.
Aikman throws. Deion makes the catch and gets ridden down at the 42-yard line by Harris after a gain of about 8. It's going to be second and 2 at the 42.
Ooh, and Troy barking at his offensive line a little bit. He took a good shot.
That time, good coverage by Harris. He came up. Of course, the blitz was on. He knew that he was going to have pressure, and we have an injured Cowboy.
Nate Newton.
He's a little closer here now because he knows he's got the blitz. And he makes a good drive. But still plenty of time for the completion.
Deion gets hit. Troy gets hit.
Alonzo Spellman with the hit on Troy Aikman, but a big concern right now, Nate Newton is down.
Well, the great Nate will sit out at least one play.
He's got his chin strap buttoned up. I think he's ready to come back in.
Kicked in the throat, they're saying, and they'll come back in shortly. It'll be second and 2 as play resumes from the Chicago 42, and Emmitt Smith gets bottled up. Spellman hit him first. It'll be third and inches. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Plymouth. One clever idea after another. That's Plymouth. Sun America, the retirement savings specialist. And Brewery Fresh Budweiser, reminding you fresh beer tastes better. That may be the most profound thing uttered from this booth tonight.
Nate, an authority on the subject, is back in the game. After being stomped in the chops, he's back.
Third and short. That's exactly where they like to run. Right over Nate over the left side.
Third and a yard from the 41-yard line. Emmett gets tripped up but thrusts ahead for the first down inside the 40-yard line.
Well, where do they really run on short yardage? It's dial a Pro Bowler. All 5 of their offensive linemen have been Pro Bowl performers and a Pro Bowl lead blocker in Daryl Johnston. So and maybe it's quite a luxury for Ernie Zampese when he decides where to go with it on short yardage.
And maybe, Dan, with the development of Larry Allen, who's turning into one of the greats as an offensive lineman, I think you'll see the Cowboys on short yardage going more and more where they did just a moment ago. There's Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator.
From the 39-yard line, the fake to Smith. Aikman throws, and Deion can't one-hand it. The former center fielder can't pull it in. It's the first year, of course, that Deion's had a full training camp with no baseball.
Well, I'll tell you, without, again, Jay Novacek.
He didn't have a glove either.
And without Michael Irvin, the Bears, I don't think, would be blitzing nearly as much as they are tonight, and they're getting away with it. This is man-to-man coverage, and Walt Harris knows he's got the blitz. He knows he's got pressure on Deion and the Troy Aikman to throw the ball quickly, and he's right there. Good coverage.
Nice job by Deion of pushing off a little bit. You see him get the right hand on Harris's shoulder and give him a roll.
That time Harris lined up tighter. Now he's back giving him the 10-yard cushion again, and Aikman slings one to the 25-yard line, and Kevin Williams cannot make the catch and is slow in getting up. Ooh.
We'll look forward to losing another receiver.
Yep. Well, that's about the worst sight they could see right now, because now you have Stepford Williams, a rookie who started out with a bang in preseason but ended with more of a whimper, who may have to see some action.
Well, you saw the official on the scene being very definitive about the ball hitting the ground. No wonder. It's plain to see.
Well, Deion Sanders doing a one-night Cal Ripken here. He's been involved in 74 of the 83 plays in the game. The only play he's missed in this half was the second and short, where they lined up with a double tight end. Third down and 10 now from the 39-yard line, and Kelvin Martin replaces Kevin Williams. There's movement, there are flags, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Billy Davis, as they really reach down deep into their receiver corps.
Who could have possibly imagined it that in a regular season game the Cowboys are lining up Kelvin Martin, Billy Davis, Deion Sanders at wide receiver, and Daryl Johnston at tight end.
Offsides by the defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty, repeat third down.
Not because they want to.
No, not because they want to. A mind-boggling situation for the Cowboys.
And there is Kelvin Martin, we mentioned before, once with the Cowboys, then he bounced around, Seahawks, Eagles. He was out of football. Cowboys said, hey, we need you. Back he comes. He knows the system. Third down, 5.
When we were away at commercial, Kevin Williams was helped off to the field, and he was limping.
Kmart, they call Martin. They need a Gucci receiver right now. It's third down and 5 from the 34-yard line, and they try to go to Gucci. Deion Sanders, and Wolford breaks it up. 121 steps in front of the other.
Donnell Wolford, when he is healthy, when he is right, he is one of the best man-for-man defenders in this game. He's not all that big, 5'9", 180 pounds, but he's like glue. He's not intimidated at all by Deion Sanders.
It is fourth down and 5 now at the 34.
Reporting.
So you can you can choose a 52-yard field goal, a punt, or a fake punt.
Well, the first team Cowboy offensive team didn't do anything the entire preseason. They struggled. They didn't get any points on the board to speak of. They were concerned. They were frustrated. They were hoping it would be different here in Chicago tonight. But 5 minutes left in the third quarter, and still only 3 points on the board.
Good time for a high pop fly. Bouncing at the 7, but it takes a Bears bounce, and it's down to the 13. But Barry Switzer said to us last night, he said, we've had no consistency and no continuity, especially offensively, in preseason, and he wasn't lying. Time now for our Prudential fact of the night.
This is a good one, too.
This is incredible.
This stumps everybody.
Well, where do you think the most games in the history of the National Football League have been played? Wrigley Field, home of the Cubs now, but the home of the Bears from 1921 through 1970. More regular season NFL games have been played on the north side of Chicago at Wrigley Field than in any other stadium ever. As Robert Green picks up 14, and while we're at it, we might as well throw it out for the audience tonight. What do you think is the stadium that is an active stadium, a current stadium in the National Football League now that has hosted the most games?
We'll give you 2 plays to think about.
Right.
We'll give you a couple plays. It's an active stadium now. It's home to an NFL team. More than any other.
2nd down and 8.
We better be right about that.
We are right. From the 15-yard line. And the pass is incomplete. Deion Sanders with good defense all over Curtis Conway. 3rd down and 8.
We played an NFL championship game in '63 at Wrigley Field. Lost to the Bears there.
It's an attempt by Conway to drive Sanders off the ball, but Sanders waits for him. When Curtis makes his break, Deion's only 2 or 3 yards away. See, that's the mark of confidence that a great corner has to have.
He made a good play there, too. Conway had that football, and
Darn right.
Got a hand in there and knocked it out.
But Deion didn't let himself be driven down the field by Conway.
3rd and 8, 4:20 left in the 3rd quarter. Chicago up by 7. They set up a screen, but a bad-looking one, and an errant pass intended for
Billy Bates. Billy Bates. Not just another drop again by Robert Green.
So 4th down, and Dan, be the answer man here.
Mile High Stadium in Denver. Do not feel badly if you didn't get it. None of us did either.
Yep, of all the stadiums currently in use in the NFL, it's hosted more regular season games than any facility. Sauerbrunn sends it down to the 35-yard line, and Kelvin Martin with a 6-yard run back. Tackle made by Rob Davis after a 50-yard boot.
And for those of you who might have got the answer, you can join us in the booth for a Monday Night Football game.
Got it. Meanwhile, let's take a look at some of the action tonight. Early in the 1st quarter, it was Timpson upended by Deion Sanders. Marion picked up the fumble. That set up a Dallas field goal. And Curtis Conway on the trick play to Raymond Harris, covered by Darren Smith, and it was 7-3 Chicago, and what has been the only touchdown in the game, and then the fake punt by Sauerbrunn, resulting in the completion to Raymond Harris just before the half, setting up a Huerta field goal, and that's how we've got to Bears 10, Cowboys 3. From the 41-yard line, Dallas 1st and 10. Aikman under pressure, hit as he throws, incomplete. Deion in the area. Brian Cox on the blitz.
I'll tell you, when you have a team that's having problems, no continuity, nothing in sync, the best thing you can do is blitz them. That'll really compound it, and that's what the Bears have done. I think they blitzed now for the last 5 plays. And ordinarily the Cowboys would make a year ago, they would eat that alive.
I dare say the Cowboys have never been blitzed this many times and not made somebody pay dearly for it.
2nd and 10 up at the 42-yard line. Here's Emmett.
Hello, Larry Allen.
Cuts it back, run out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Flag down at the 44. Larry Allen with a great
Larry
block.
Allen wiped out Brian Cox.
Hello. Hello. I weigh 330 pounds and you don't.
They're going to bring it back, but we just got to look at it.
This is called an obliteration.
Holding by the offense, number 89. 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Here comes Cox flowing to the outside. There comes Larry Allen. Goodbye, Brian Cox.
Cox weighs 250 pounds, and Allen took him off his feet.
Just look at Larry move. Look how nimble he is. Look how light he is on his feet, and then he brings it and drops the big bag of goodies on Brian Cox. Just incredible athleticism by a man that size. He is the whole deal. He is smart. He is tough. He is huge. He's fast. And he's a Pro Bowler.
Yeah. And you just sent him back.
And he deserves it.
2nd and 20 that wipes out a Smith gain. Emmett tonight 15 carries for 55 yards. Darrell Johnston was split to the right that time, and Deion makes the catch and then steps out of bounds with Harris covering up at the 42-yard line, so they get back to about the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down.
A gain of 10 on the play. The Cowboys at 3rd and 10.
Make it 3rd down. 3rd down and 10 up at the 42-yard line with 3:32 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Again, Walt Harris continues just to make sure he's not going to give Deion something major, but that is a 7th reception for Deion. 71 yards for him now. And they're not going to leave it. Now he's over lined up against Donnell Wolford.
3rd and 10 at the 42, and with a very frustrating motion, Troy Aikman says timeout. 3:12. Exasperation beginning to set in. 10-3 Chicago. Soldier Field, the home of the Chicago Bears, who go to Washington next week. Dallas goes home to Texas Stadium to face the New York Giants. And the Cowboys down by 7 here after the timeout. 3rd down and 10 from the 42-yard line. 5-man Chicago rush, and the pass is incomplete. Deion Sanders covered by Donnell Wolford that time.
Well, Deion falls down, and then Wolford, who has a clean shot at the ball, trips over the top of Deion.
And you know things are serious when Jerry's on the sideline in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, things are serious for the Cowboys.
I'll tell you, that part of the field is still a little bit of a problem from a week ago, 10 days ago, when we had that downpour here at Soldier Field, and you saw Deion Sanders lose his footing.
And fortunately for the Cowboys, Donnell Wolford fell over the top of Deion, or he picks that off.
John Jett to punt, Bobby Ingram back to receive it. The Penn State rookie comes up to the 23 to haul it in. And a nice tackle by Jim Schwantz right there along with Billy Bates. As Chicago begins its drive from the 23-yard line. That is the Spirit of Akron floating high above Soldier Field in Chicago. Sold out tonight, the Goodyear Blimp. Don McDuff at the controls. And next week, up the Lake Michigan shoreline, we go to Green Bay, to Lambeau Field. The Packers in their home opener against the Philadelphia Eagles, coming off their win yesterday behind Rodney Peete and Ricky Waters. We'll see the Eagles and the Packers from Lambeau next Monday night.
Get those bratwursts ready. We're on the way.
Bears from the 24-yard line. Toss to Green. Gain of a yard or two. Darren Smith on the coverage.
We should have some of those bratwursts from Milwaukee County Stadium sent up there.
Yeah.
Man,
I think you just did.
That'd be the best sandwich in any ballpark I've ever had.
Charles Haley told Barry Switzer last night that he could give him about 30 good snaps tonight. And I think he's been in for probably more plays than that, or on a pace to be in for more.
Well, Kramer's a tough quarterback to reach with that short drop and the quick delivery.
2nd and 8. Green cuts it back and is tackled up at the 30-yard line, setting up a 3rd and 5. Raymond Harris led with a block leading the way.
Again, good running by Robert Green. He made a little more out of that. Just breaking the tackle of Kevin Smith.
Kevin shaken, but Kevin knows that if you have to take an injury timeout, you have to come out for a play. So he's going to shake it off and stay right in there. But the rest of the Cowboys are now going to say, no, we want him out of the game here, at least for a play. Sweetness is down there. Walter Payton still looks like he could run for 100 yards.
Yes, he could behind some lines in this league. Maybe behind the 2 that are here tonight.
Some of the lines he ran behind weren't all that good. Wound up with over 16,000 yards. That's remarkable.
Kevin Smith is out. That means Alundis Bryce is in. 3rd and a long 3 from the 31-yard line. 1:45 to go. 3rd quarter. 10-3 Bears. Kramer so effective on that play all last year, and enough tonight. Bobby Ingram makes the catch, and Alundis Bryce, who just took Kevin Smith's spot with the coverage, so they went right to Bryce.
Yeah, they've done a masterful coaching job on both sides of the ball. Special teams, the Bears have not missed a beat tonight from the coaching box.
Eric Kramer, though, showing a lot of confidence in a rookie here in his first NFL game. Bobby Ingram, their second-round draft choice this year, and being called upon in a very pressure situation.
That's Ingram's first catch tonight, first catch of his career. From the 38-yard line, Kramer throws, and somehow the catch is made by Curtis Conway. Had his arms in a rather unusual position, but stayed with it. Low throw, hangs on.
And Deion was right up in his face. Actually hit him as he came off the line of scrimmage, and Eric had the ball on the way.
Second and 4 at the Bears 44.
A quick delivery, just timing between Conway and Kramer.
Well, again, a good delivery. Low, outside, place where nobody else is going to catch it except the intended receiver.
Bear brain trust sending this play in on 2nd down and 4. And the play call is a straight ahead for Green, who gets tackled a yard short of the first down on what figures to be the final play of the quarter. Tolbert in on the stop, so a big 3rd and 1 will begin the 4th quarter. We've played 3 at Soldier Field in Chicago, and the world champions will have to come from behind, because at the end of 3 at Chicago 10, Dallas 3, and Monday Night Football returns after this from our ABC stations. In Chicago, we start the 4th quarter. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf, and Lynn Swan. Mark Tuanay and the Cowboy offense having a very frustrating night. As you look at Nate Newton, Chicago has the ball. They lead 10-3, and it's 3rd and 1 from their own 48-yard line. And Raymond Harris with a second effort may have gotten it. Brock Marion popped him, and let's see where they put it down.
Ooh, this is going to be extremely close.
He did not get a good mark.
He didn't get much in the way of blocking either. That was a pretty effective job by the Cowboys. One of the few times that the Bears offensive line did get a pretty good surge at the point of attack.
Ed Hockley, who's become one of the premier referees in the league, has everything well under control tonight.
Harris gets that first down. It's going to be one super effort. He was stopped dead cold, kept it alive, got to the outside. Oh, did he?
That much.
Oh, baby.
What do you do, Dave?
Yep.
Go for it.
I don't see anybody coming out.
They're going to go for it. At least take a long count.
Yep. And Kramer, when it comes to long counts, is terrific. He drew a lot of penalties last year.
I would be stunned if the Bears would actually run this play and go for the first down.
Well, we'll see.
I think might have just said, try your hard count.
Their
Eric.
defense has been playing so well against the Cowboys offensively tonight. The Cowboys have only 3 points. Boy, the risk of turning it over at this end of the field.
Okay.
Dangerous business.
Let me get back.
They do run it. And Kramer appears with that forward motion to have gotten it. Leon Letts stops him.
I'll tell you.
Eric Kramer ended up back behind the line of scrimmage. You're right. Forward progress is what counts here.
First
He's got it. What a colossal gamble by Dave Wannstedt. Give this guy some credit for being a gambler.
And some very heads up calls throughout the entire game by Dave Wannstedt too. Going back to the fake punt.
I'd say Eric Kramer picked that first down up by a good 2 or 3 inches. He needed 2 or 3 and might have gotten 6.
Well, you make it on that call, you're a genius. And Switzer knows what it's like to miss it on that call, even though the Philadelphia call last year was much later in the game.
I still would have punted it.
First down from the 48-yard line. Kramer throws into the arms of Raymond Harris, and by the time Thomas can track him down at the 30-yard line, it's a gain of 22.
I'll tell you, that was a great change by Eric Kramer. This was what they've been working on during the week. They got the defense they wanted. They got the blitz coming, and they had this particular play in. They changed it at the line of scrimmage. It worked perfect.
Ron Turner, the offensive coordinator of the Bears, calling a beautiful game tonight.
Indeed he is. And right in harmony with the quarterback Kramer. That was a changeup.
Harris tonight, 103 yards in receptions. A lot of those, of course, on the fake punt. From the 29-yard line, nothing happening. Green taken down by Herman McCormick.
There is Ron Turner up in the Bears press box.
He's going to face his brother next week. Norv is the head coach of the Washington Redskins.
Ron with Dave Wanstead at USC those many years ago, both on their way up.
He may have been at USC, but I think Ron really would have loved the UCLA job last year when Terry Donahue retired. I know that Troy Aikman put in a word for him, but Bob Toledo got the position. Second down and 11 from the 31-yard line. Kramer throws to Green. Thomas takes Green down at the 25-yard line, and another big third down play coming up with 12:40 remaining in regulation.
A gain of 8 on the play.
Chicago looking up Michigan Avenue.
3rd and 5.
What a night.
Cowboys 24.
Starting our 27th year of Monday Night Football here on ABC. Our whole crew is here. Kenny Wolf producing down in the truck. Craig Janoff directing. Some of our camera people, tape operators, have been on this package for all 27 years, as hard as that is to imagine. And some of them looking.
Third down, 5, and timeout, says Kramer. Timeout. 12:06 remaining in the 4th. And when we come back, third down and 5. Welcome back to Rome. Soldier Field in Chicago. Now, this wasn't built in a day either. 10-3 Bears and a big play. Third down and 5 at the 24-yard line after the Bears timeout. Kramer protected well, fires incomplete, tried to sling it into Ryan Wetnight, the tight end, who's had to play most of the game because of the injury to Keith Jennings. Incomplete. And now Carlos Huerta, who missed his last attempt, will try to hit one from about 43.
Kramer was being careful of this. He really put something on this. He didn't want it picked off, threw it down low, gave Wetnight a chance to handle it.
Threw it a little bit behind him.
Really hot, too.
Yeah, just a little bit behind Wetnight. Little pressure.
A heart in your throat.
Yeah, little pressure here on Carlos.
Oh, you bet. Yep. And a big controversial decision. He beats out Butler for the job, and then Huerta splits the uprights from 42.
He would have left the field on the other side.
Yes.
Rather than face Wanstead.
11:56 left in the 4th. The Bears extend their lead to 13-3. Soldier Field alive. The Bears on top 13-3 on opening night, and Sauerbrun's kick is taken a yard into the end zone by Kevin Williams, who comes straight up the middle, out past the 20 and tackled up at the 27-yard line. Well, Deion Sanders, we have talked about him all night because you can't avoid him. And we put together this little montage on what has been as active a night as any NFL player has had in maybe 30 years.
That first shot we had of him was a tackle that jarred the ball loose and forced the first turnover of the game. Michael Timpson wound up putting points on the board for the Cowboys.
One thing we've seen tonight is you look, he's gone 89 out of 100 possible plays tonight on both offense and defense. Keep in mind that a normal player goes about 60 plays in a game.
Aikman throws, and there is Deion's 90th play. And the flag goes down. Walt Harris with the coverage.
And one thing I think Deion has shown me tonight, and I think everyone else, is that initially this guy was really a guy that just ran a deep fly pattern, a deep post pattern. Tonight that payoff is really being shown of practicing all through training camp, running all the routes.
Numbers 21 and 89 were both moving at the
Yeah,
at
that
the same
time Deion was moving before the snap.
Well, they're saying both Deion and Ware, Derek Ware, the tight end, were both moving at the same time.
Might indicate the snap might have been a little slow coming up.
But really, Deion is it's really paid off, him spending the entire training camp period working on offense. He does indeed have a grasp for the entire package.
7 catches for 71 yards, but it's 1st and 15 after the infraction. Bears on top 13-3. 11:30 to go. 4th quarter. Aikman from the 22. Deion. Harris wraps him up. Deion loses the football. It's loose. It's still loose, and the Bears with Wolf. Harris coming up with it. Recover.
Walt Harris has been so patient tonight. I know they've told him don't let him get behind you, and he has not.
Now they're going to discuss this. Was the ball at any point out of bounds? Clearly not, according to the signal from the Bears, but they're still going to discuss. Deion may have the question too is, did Deion recover the ball, and then was the play over because he was down?
The ball came loose. There was no forward progress. There was a fumble recovered by Chicago. 1st down.
That happened right in front of the Cowboys bench, right in front of Barry Switzer.
Well, it all starts with Deion trying to make something happen. There's the ball. Certainly it is out. Right there. Did he get it back?
Yeah.
It certainly looked like it from that angle, although we couldn't see the ball.
That's what Emmett is saying.
And if he gets it back at that point, the play is over. Right in front of Jerry Jones, too.
Let's see if we can get a better look at it here. All right, there's the fumble. But right here. Well, we can't see the football. Yeah. It looks like from body language that he got it back, but then again, we can't see it definitively.
And then Harris reaches in and grabs it to take it away and give Chicago the ball at the 21-yard line. Now Kramer gives the ball to Green, and he gets tackled by Darren Smith. Another look now. We may have the definitive look coming up here.
Remember, he must be controlling the ball.
If we could see it from behind. All right.
2nd and 9.
There is the initial fumble right there. Here is where he tries to get it back. No, he never did get it. No, he never did.
No.
Boy, well done by the officiating crew.
Terrific call.
Well done.
And well done by our camera crew.
2nd down and 9 from the 20-yard line. Kramer checks off, goes the other way, and throws that one halfway to Evanston. 3rd and 9. Chad Hennings came in and took a shot at Kramer at the end of the play. 13-3 Chicago.
That's what I think Eric said. I've got nobody. I'm not going to turn it over. Just fired out of the end zone. I'll tell you, Walt Harris has had quite a job tonight. They've left him out there on an island with, to him, I'm sure, a legendary one in Deion Sanders. He's caught a lot of passes, but he's not been able to break any of them away.
Walt Harris has big time written all over.
Sure does.
3rd down and 9. Timpson on an end around, seeking the 1st down. He dives, but where did he go out of bounds? Conway says the 11. The official right there says the 12. So they're short of the 1st down by a yard. Well, Dave wants that. You know, the minute that schedule came out, the ex-Cowboy assistant focusing on this game.
And they're going to send the field goal unit out. They'd like to move this up to 16-3.
Boy, Timpson's so close to being able to pick up that 1st down. He got some good blocks downfield. Made a decision to go to the sideline rather than to the cut-up field.
No, he was looking right into the face of Brock Marion if he brought it inside.
We're to now a 29-yard attempt. Sauer run to hold it. Whistles before the play. No kick. No kick.
There was a flag before the snap.
Kick was good. The play clock had run down, and a delay of the game will cost them 5 yards.
Dave Wannstedt understandably upset. That is not a smart play.
Now the kicking unit has to be ready whether they're going to go for it or not.
Yeah.
They should be out on the field, set and ready to go, and you'll see the play clock run down, and there it is.
Yeah. So we go from a 29-yard attempt to a 34-yard attempt. 9:58 left in the fourth quarter. From 34 yards out, the kick is good. So Huerta is 3 of 4. And Wannstedt's Bears take a 16-3 lead with 9:48 left in the fourth. The last time the Cowboys played a regular season game without a touchdown, year 3 of the Jimmy Johnson reign, 1991. They're down by 13 here. It's a good kick, an angled kick, and Kevin Williams with a flag coming in at the end runs it back to the 17-yard line, tackled by Anthony Marshall.
These Bears are beginning to smell something big time. They're really fired up.
Yep. Well, you know, last year, you think about the Giants on opening night. The Giants put so much emphasis on that game last year, and they got blown out.
Illegal block in the back by the receiving team, number 52. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
That's Jim Schwantz. That the Giants never recovered, had a miserable year. And Dave Wannstedt, you know, had to put a lot of emphasis on tonight's game, but you don't want to overemphasize it. But Danny looks like he's on the verge of turning it into a major positive here.
But the Bears are not facing in any shape, manner, or form the same team that the New York Giants faced on opening day last year. This is one struggling football team, struggling with injuries, struggling with missing personnel because of suspensions, struggling with a lack of quality practice time and training camp, and it shows.
From the 9-yard line, Emmitt Smith dancing and darting and takes it up to the 15 for a gain of 6. Alonzo Spellman making the tackle. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Ford Escort. It's new and it's nifty, made for the smart, the intelligent, thrifty. Southwest Airlines with low fares on every flight, every seat, every day. Brewery Fresh Budweiser. Now with Born on Date. Is your beer fresh? And Bulletproof, Universal Pictures starring Damon Wayans and Adam Sandler. Second and 4 up at the 15-yard line. Aikman throws, and it's a little too short. Johnston waiting for it and waiting, and it's tantalizingly close, but off his fingertips.
Boy, and there is a derisive moose call from the Soldier Field crowd. Everyone in this league knows Daryl Johnston's nickname of Moose, and that was the equivalent of some raspberries.
It's certainly catchable, but I mean, it was a poorly thrown ball, too. Moose trying to make something big happen. You're down 16-3. He's thinking about turning it upfield and getting some yardage.
That'd have been a heck of a catch.
Threw him a changeup. And Aikman hit as he throws. It's a loose ball. It is picked up in the end zone.
It's Brian Cox.
Touchdown. Kevin Minifield on the corner blitz stripped it, and Brian Cox living a dream right now.
Well, the Bears have been blitzing on almost every play throughout this entire second half.
Well, it's a corner blitz. It doesn't come off the corner. It's a corner only in that Minifield is a corner. But the blitz comes between the center and the left guard, both of whom are occupied. Right on the left side of your screen, you see Minifield. Emmitt Smith has to try to duck all the way around Aikman to get to Minifield. An easy touchdown for Brian Cox. Oh, baby, the boys are in trouble.
First touchdown of Cox's career after all of the years in Miami, signing the free agent contract here. And then Flanagan, a defensive tackle who has scored 2 touchdowns himself. I mean, those two guys can talk about putting the ball in the end zone.
Two key figures tonight were brought in by the Bears to bolster their defense. One of them is Brian Cox, the other Walt Harris. They both played superb games tonight.
And Chicago will line up for 2 with a 19-point lead. They'll try to extend it to 21. After Harris shifts over, Kramer rolls and looks and throws, and it's incomplete, intended for Timpson. So the conversion is not successful, but with 8:47 to go in the fourth, the Bears lead the Cowboys 22-3. Deion Sanders playing the Iron Man role tonight, and Brian Cox, signing that big $3 million a year contract, has just scored a touchdown for Chicago to make it 22-3 as the kickoff is taken 2 yards into the end zone by Kevin Williams. And he brings it back to the 20. So the Bears rocking and rolling as Aikman takes over. Brian Cox with a reaction after the touchdown to put him up by 19. And at Soldier Field, unless the Cowboys can mount a major comeback, gents, they have to wonder, is tonight the precursor or is it an aberration?
Well, what they need to do, first of all, is spend some more good time practicing. Keep in mind that guys like Eric Williams, Ray Donaldson only got 2 weeks of training camp. They need to get some of their people back. They need an Eric Bjornsson to come back and give them some quality play at tight end. Needless to say, it's premature to say the Cowboys can't defend their title, but they are going to struggle early in the season.
Here's Aikman now throwing it out to Deion as he's tackled by Harris. They're missing Novacek, and Novacek conceivably could be gone for the season. You know, Irvin is gone at least until early October.
And
so
they're very thin.
a lot before things can get better for them.
So thin everywhere. But tonight has to be just devastating. A masterful coaching job. Take nothing away from Dave Wannstedt. He put together a brilliant coaching job, and coming into the game in the very first moments of the game, they lose Keith Jennings, a big part of their run game offense, but still they've been able to adjust, and they've done a wonderful job.
Second down and 1, and Emmitt Smith picks up the first down up to the 42-yard line.
The Cowboys get to go home for a couple of weeks, so they get some home cooking. They go home to play the Giants, then they play the Indianapolis Colts. You have to wonder, though, in the heat of Texas Stadium, is Deion going to be able to do in the middle of the afternoon against the Giants what he's done here tonight against the Bears? Is he going to be able to play this many reps?
And then after they go home for those two, they go to Buffalo, so that's a tough game. And then they go to Philadelphia on a Monday night in another very tough game.
A little confusion on the part of the two wideouts. Sanders lined up at the wrong side, and they're going to run out of play time.
And Troy's body language on that said a lot.
Well, this will be interesting to see how Dallas handles this. Needless to say, they'll take their fair share of criticism in Dallas, and the players are probably going to feel a little bit overanalyzed and scrutinized, and it'll be very interesting to see if they're able to keep this together without a lot of finger pointing, without a lot of I suspect that they will. I think that this is I would hope that this is not enough to send some of these guys off in different directions.
Last time the Cowboys lost a game by 19 or more points, it was a Monday night in 1993. Richie Pettibone was making his Washington Redskin debut as the head coach, and the Redskins won 35-16. Footnote, of course, Emmitt Smith was holding out in that game and the following week as well. Cowboys went 0-2. Emmitt signed. Next thing you know, Super Bowl. Aikman, pump fakes, going deep for Williams. A flag goes down. There was contact. Williams and Donnell Wolford got tangled up, and the flag was thrown at the 32-yard line.
Well, there certainly was contact. Wolford's not going to like it, but it's against him.
Wolford saying that it was Kevin Williams, but there
Pass
was
interference by the defense, number 21, automatic first down.
there was a lot of pushing and nudging.
The penalty gives the Cowboys 1st and 10 at the Bears 31.
7:12 left, a 27-yard penalty. Cowboys have it at the 31-yard line. Eric Bjornsson Bad hamstring and all in the game is the tight end on the right side. Aikman under pressure. Escapes. Another flag has been thrown. And Troy gets bumped out of bounds at the 20-yard line by Mark Carrier. Flag at the 30-yard line on the other side of the field. Again, illegal formation or shift against Dallas, and with the guys who are out and the other fellas playing new positions and the new personnel.
Illegal shift by the offense. Numbers 83 and 48 were moving at the snap. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And they really are, Al. They're all having to play out of position. They haven't had a chance to work on it only this past week, and they've basically, what they've done, and in many cases, put it in an entire new offense, and they've only had a few days to work on that offense. Some of the players only practicing at 50 or 60%, and it looks it.
1st and 15 at the 36-yard line. Under 7 minutes left in regulation. Bears lead by 19. Near side and dropped by Kevin Williams.
Yeah, when it goes bad, it goes all the way. Pass that should have been easily handled.
Well, for Barry Switzer, an inglorious beginning, the way it appears right now, to the 3rd year of his regime, and you really got the feeling with Barry, it's his team now. I mean, he tried to make the seamless transition from the Johnson era. Had a pretty good year the first year. Wins the Super Bowl. This is his team.
And this is Deion Sanders' 100th play coming up right now, and he's split out to the near side.
On 2nd down, a little dump off to Emmitt Smith. And Mangum takes him down at the 29-yard line. Well short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and about 8.
Pulled down by Mangum.
I think Emmitt just likes to compete. Did you see him high-five Brian Cox there? Here it is. 51 on offense, 49 on defense for Deion Sanders. He's missed, what, only 3 plays in his second half. What a remarkable. I wouldn't have believed it.
Yep.
We were talking about 100 plays prior to the start of the game. I didn't think it possible.
Well, I talked to him on the field. He said, I think I can go 100. And I looked at him very curiously, but he's already got 101 now. That's incomplete, intended for Emmitt Smith. And it's 4th down at the 28-yard line, and the Cowboys are compelled to go for it.
And the 3 won't help, so they'll go on 4th and long.
And the Bears, 28.
Well, the Cowboys will go back and try to regroup. Jason Garrett, the number 3 quarterback.
You know, there's 6 minutes left in this ball game. We wouldn't be talking about the old Cowboys like this. Like this game's already over.
Old Cowboys wouldn't be down by 19. And the catch is made by Kelvin Martin, and he keeps it going as he picks up a 1st down at the 16-yard line. Kevin Minifield with the coverage. And a 1st down.
1st and 10 at the Bears 16.
Good strong arm by Aikman here. Tough pass to throw. He's got a lot on it. Minifield way behind on the coverage of Martin.
Good time for Martin's first catch of the night on a 4th down play. Now from the 16. Troy throws. It's caught at the 13-yard line by Derek Ware, the tight end, and he is rolled down at the 11 after a gain of 5.
Marty Carter, the strong safety, better be careful. If he gets there about a half a second later than that, he's going to get called for a late hit.
Wade Wilson, you just saw him, the backup quarterback, listening in to the helmet headset. That's Ware's first catch of the game.
See the tackles by Smith. There comes Marty Carter in. He hits Vincent Smith more than he hits the Cowboy involved. That's better watch out. That's close to getting a flag.
2nd down and 5 from the 11-yard line. Aikman throws, caught at the 3, taken in there by Kevin Williams, and that's a 1st down.
Was that Emmitt Smith again that delivered a block up at the line of scrimmage? Somebody blitzed, and Emmitt Smith tattoos somebody.
Picked up Cox, I think, wasn't it?
This is one of the most incredible blocking games by any back, much less by Emmitt Smith. Is that Brian Cox he hits?
I think it was. He was coming on the blitz.
Watch it. No, it's Joe Kane, 59. Look at that hit by Emmitt Smith. He drops him on his back.
Now from the 4, it's Emmitt taking it halfway to the goal line, to the 2-yard line. Tackled there by Vincent Smith. Clock ticking, 4:05 to go.
Former Cowboy that Dave Wannstedt traded for when the first year he was here.
You know, if wishing could make it done, the determination and effort being shown by Emmitt Smith tonight would win this game for the Dallas Cowboys. If everybody was getting it done to his level. Now, he's had the fumble tonight, and that hurt. But my Lord, is this guy getting after people.
Second down and goal coming up, and Chicago takes a timeout. The defense takes a timeout.
I think we're going to let's get this thing served up here one more time, folks. This is just textbook on how you stick somebody if you're a running back. Watch Emmitt Smith. His responsibility, pick up the blitz. Here comes Joe Kane, number 59. Both feet are going to be planted right over the up foot, and he just destroys Kane, knocks him flat on his back.
Joe Kane goes about 240 pounds. Emmitt Smith about, what, 212? But it's how you use it. He has that low center of gravity, and he just really unleashes.
This is some performance by Emmitt.
Seen about a half a dozen of those tonight.
I think he's trying to make a statement that I got the big contract, and I'm going to earn it.
And Deion got the big contract, and Deion has really earned it tonight. Cox has the big contract. He's earned it tonight.
Yes, sir.
It is second down and goal. You saw Wannstedt furious because of the timeout call. The Bears had the wrong personnel in the game, and Dave didn't want to squander the timeout. Second and goal. Smith with a fake. Aikman on the roll. Good coverage, and he has to step out of bounds at the 10. Great job by the secondary. Jim Flanagan runs him out, and instead of second and goal, it's now third and goal from the 10.
Super effort by Flanagan. Sack leader from a year ago. He's got the quickness. So Chris on the passing downs, and they bring in Fontenot on against the run.
Chris Zorich, you saw him with the ball pate. As Emmitt Smith is the injured Cowboy.
Watch Emmitt, what he does on this fake. He launches himself into the air. Talk about an effort in selling a fake. Watch what Emmitt does. But watch, there he is at tailback, lower left of your screen. Watch this fake. Just watch. He lands right on his shoulder. You know, that's asking a great deal for a man in Emmitt Smith's position to leave his feet, hurdle over the pile. And now it turns out it might not have been a very wise thing to do.
Well, I don't think they asked him to do it. This is just Emmitt Smith.
I think we're just seeing the frustration of a man who can't stand to lose. He does land very awkwardly on his shoulder.
That's exactly what it is. Total frustration.
Well, so Smith, who gave everybody a scare a couple of weeks ago with the sprained knee and then recovered quickly, has another problem right here. 18 carries tonight for Emmitt for 70 yards.
It is impossible to love and appreciate this game and not just come away with an admiration for Emmitt Smith.
And there's a very respectful silence in this stadium.
Emmitt has had incredible recuperative powers. He's been hurt, shaken up. In fact, his most serious injury may have been in a Monday night game in New Orleans a couple of years ago, and pulled his hamstring. It looked like he might be done for the rest of the year in postseason, and came back. And Jerry Jones, of course, with Barry Switzer and clearly the concern is written all over their faces.
They're bringing out a gurney. They are bringing out a stretcher onto the field. And this has just taken on an entirely new meaning now.
Now they're looking at his neck. You really wouldn't want to speculate what it is, shoulder and neck, but he fell in a very awkward way. He wasn't hit.
Well, we can see that he's raised his right leg. We saw him moving his right arm. So the good news is it appears that Emmitt Smith has control of his extremities. Again, another look at it. He is simply carrying out a fake on this play action pass. This roll to the right by Aikman. Sells it, occupies some Bears, but sails over his own lineman, and more often than not, you land on somebody. Emmitt Smith, there was nobody there to land on, and he ended up falling awkwardly to the ground. Kind of landed on that right shoulder.
And the elbow.
Yeah.
Any number of things could have happened.
In his career, and it's been a spectacular one, and he is the all-time workhorse, he has missed only one regular season game because of an injury.
He has been the workhorse too. They talk about the numbers of carries that he's had in his 6 years of in the league, but then you go back to his years at the University of Florida when he was the workhorse there too, and gained almost 4,000 yards there.
It's just a shame and ironic that he gets hurt doing something he didn't have to do.
Yeah.
You know, that's what he was doing there was what separates average guys from the greatest of players. And it ends up resulting in an injury. That it almost doesn't seem fair in that respect.
Well, he does something that doesn't wind up on a stat sheet anywhere, and of course his statistics speak for themselves. The most carries over a 5-year span of anybody in history coming into this season, more than Dickerson or Payton or Campbell. And it is, Dan, it's terribly ironic that he carries the ball tonight X number of times for X number of yards, but the things that don't show up statistically, that play, the blocks, and all of the rest, and then to injure yourself to this extent is a very concerned Jerry Jones clearly looks on.
Many more carries when you consider the numbers of playoff games that he's been involved in.
Yeah, 270 something there, I think, just in the playoffs. That's darn near a whole nother season. We can only hope that this is the utmost in precaution, taking Emmitt Smith off in this manner. I've got my fingers crossed. I hope that's what it is.
Most of the capacity crowd has stayed here at Soldier Field, nearly 67,000 of them, and they are very hushed.
Well, in the game itself, we have 3:41 remaining. The Bears up by 19 points, and the Cowboys appear to be ready to go into the end zone before that last play, and it will be 3rd and 10 when play resumes. And the backup to Emmitt Smith is Sherman Williams.
I think you're right in the sense that even the Bears fans are traumatized by this.
Well, this is a sight that, you know, has become all too common in NFL stadiums in recent years.
I guarantee you that Emmitt Smith will get an ovation. I hope he's able to hear it, because for being on the road, I suspect that these Chicago Bear fans will want him to hear them.
Well, he's one of those guys that really, he crosses fan boundaries.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an appreciation for Emmitt that clearly extends.
He belongs to
well
everybody.
Beyond Dallas, yeah.
He belongs to everybody in a sense. As did Walter Payton, the great Bear running back.
Right. And in a season when so much in the offseason, when so much went so sour for Dallas, Emmitt was, you know, a bright spot in so many ways, including going back to the University of Florida and obtaining his degree. He went through that graduation ceremony in the spring so proudly. Told his mom, I'm going to do it for you, and I promised you I'd do it, and he did it.
Vincent Smith of the Bears, a former teammate of Emmitt Smith, up there watching, very concerned. Number 55.
Sure took the time to actually strap Emmitt to the board.
Hopefully with 3:41 remaining in this game, we'll have some word to give to you as to what the condition of Emmitt Smith is.
So as play resumes now, it's 3rd and goal at the 9-yard line. And this nightmare of a night for the Cowboys ends with the worst conceivable scene. Emmitt Smith carted off in that fashion as Darrell Johnston can't hold in the pass. And it will be 4th down and goal from the 10-yard line.
Well, that ball just got away from Troy Aikman. He has Johnston out in the flat. If it's a better pass, Darrell might be able to take it and break a tackle and get anywhere near the end zone, but that ball just floated away.
So now Chris Boniol will attempt a field goal from 28 yards away. The Cowboys figuring you need 3 scores at this point, so somewhere along the line they'll need a field goal, and why not now? Down by 19, trying to make it 16, and the kick is good, so they're down to within 16 now.
2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions.
Right, and a probable onside kick.
What a nightmare night for the Dallas Cowboys. It opened this way and is continued. With the mistakes at the beginning of the game, opportunities that they didn't capitalize on.
Well, let's get a report. Lynn Swan, what do you know, Lynn?
Well, Al, they brought him off the field, and I was told by Rich Dalrymple, who talked to the trainers and the people who were on the field, he said that Emmitt hit his head. He felt a sharp pain go down through his back, but he had movement of all of his limbs. He seems to be fine, but they are being extra careful and taking every precaution to make sure he is okay. That is why they strapped him to the cart. They took him off the field. They just wanted to make sure he is okay. They'll go into the locker room. They'll continue to do some other tests. There's x-ray equipment here. Again, he seems to be fine. They're just taking every precaution available to them at this moment. Al?
Okay, thank you, Lynn. And I know Lynn will stay on top of that until we go off the air. The Cowboys, meanwhile, clearly lining up for an onside kick here with 3:33 remaining in regulation. Chris Boniol has to go at least 10 yards and does, and it's a loose ball at the 41-yard line and at the bottom of the pile.
One of those piles where everyone's got it.
That ball may already have changed hands a couple times.
There's the ball. Is Dallas's ball. No, well, one official says Dallas's ball, and then Ed Hockley says Chicago's ball.
He just got turned around and pointed the wrong way. Conway had it.
Well, it's kind of disheartening to see all the officials looking at one spot for the ball, and all of a sudden somebody about 4 yards downfield is holding it.
Yeah, brought his ball onto the field.
You're right, he might have brought it out under his jersey.
They put all the sure-handed types up there, all the receiver types. There's Timpson. He had the first shot at it. Conway actually had to save it.
Ingram, 81, might have been the first guy to touch it and didn't handle it cleanly.
It changed hands.
From the 42-yard line, 1st and 10, Chicago. And this is Robert Green taking time off the clock with 3:18 remaining in the 4th quarter, and the Cowboys have to start using their timeouts. And they take their first here. Well, for Barry and the troops, back to Valley Ranch.
There's a timeout on the field.
Getting a report, Kenny Wolf telling me that Emmett has pain from his neck down through his back to his waist, and that the x-rays are what they are describing as more precautionary than anything else. So that's,
yeah, they want to
full movement, and that's about as good a report as we could get right now.
Yeah, they want to emphasize that Emmett has full movement in all of his extremities. So,
and again, we'll check in again before we go off the air with 3:18 remaining in the 4th quarter.
On the last rush, 2nd and 7.
Dallas has just spent its last timeout, and Chicago can take time off the clock now as Eric Kramer hands the ball off to Robert Green. And the Chicago Bears will come away with a win as we have a little pushy shovey here. Go to Washington, and then, among other things, they may get Rashaan Salaam back next week as well.
although that very much in the air, it is no given that Rashaan Salaam will be back next week. Hamstrings, one of the most unpredictable muscles in your body in terms of trying to gauge when you're going to be able to come back and operate effectively, Frank.
It's better when you're young, and he is young.
Everything's better when you're young as far as getting better.
3rd and 4 from the 35-yard line. Green again, close to a first down with 2.5 minutes. And the Bears, whether they made the first down or not, do not have to run a play before the 2-minute warning. Meanwhile, a great night, an incredible night for Deion Sanders in a way. We say great because it's just great in terms of the scope of what he has accomplished tonight.
And yet it was a pretty good job of containing the threat of Deion Sanders, too. He caught a lot of passes. He didn't do anything destructive at all. Perhaps the best thing he did was force the fumble that caused the first turnover.
Right. 9 catches, 87 yards, and all the way at cornerback. 2-minute warning. Bears by 16.
The 2-minute warning to each man.
I want to welcome a new affiliate to our ABC television network. Alabama's ABC 33 and 40 in Birmingham. Proud to have the gang aboard for our primetime beginning to Monday Night Football, year 27 in Chicago. Well, the Cowboys go back. They'll regroup, face the Giants at Texas Stadium on Sunday. Bears go to Washington with 2 minutes to go in this one. Brian Cox in his Bears debut. Brian coming over here. He was a much sought after free agent, but the Bears did a tremendous recruiting job on Brian, who told us a couple of weeks ago. I asked him the question. I said, if Don Shula were still coaching the Miami Dolphins, which uniform would you be wearing? He said, Miami. He was my man. Not that Jimmy didn't want him down there. It was partially the salary cap situation, and he just took a look around, did Brian, and wound up with a big contract.
Well, there were a lot of people who wanted him, but he never got out of Chicago.
Yep.
Not the only player to have a great deal of admiration for Don Shula.
4th and a yard as Kramer with the surge may have picked up the first down.
Of course, Brian Cox, his wife is a native Chicagoan, went to high school here. I went to the same high school as Dick Butkus, I believe.
Right.
Chicago Vocational, and And so that has to have had a big part. He's from downstate Illinois. He's from East St. Louis, Illinois. Played in the legendary high school program there for Bob Shannon. And so in a sense, he's almost home.
They got a measure here, so the Bears will either have a first down and run the clock out, or the Cowboys will take over with a wing and a prayer. It is a first down, and they can simply run it out. Well, Dave Wannstedt said a short time ago, he said all of the pieces are in place, and the media here picked up on it, and some of them have mocked him about it. But he had enough of the pieces in place tonight. And for the first time tonight, the game face comes off and a grin seeps through.
Well, we talked about the fans being eager for the Bears to make that step to the next level. This, of course, is just one step. But boy, what a wonderful way for them to get this season started.
Well, they really made some strides defensively with Cox and Walt Harris, and they gave up, what, about 63% passing a year ago. They were horrible on third down, and it's a different defensive team. Just a couple of little additions that made a really big difference for them.
Well, the Cowboys, the only time they were or did not score a touchdown in a season opener would have been against the Saints in '89, and that was the beginning of the Jimmy Johnson era.
That was the year they were 1-15.
Troy Aikman had come out of UCLA as the #1 pick in the draft.
Well, there's no asterisk in the record book behind the Bears' victory that says the Cowboys were banged up. This is still a case of the Chicago Bears beating the Dallas Cowboys, and congratulations to Dave Wannstedt and his program.
Right. And one final number, Deion Sanders tonight was in on 107 plays. We go up to Green Bay next week as the Packers take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Monday Night Mania will be seen on the West Coast at 10 o'clock Pacific time. Emmitt Smith, again, the X-rays precautionary, has movement in all of his extremities. And as we leave you from Chicago, the Bears win it 22-6. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf, Lynn Swan, good night from Chicago.